A very good morning and thank you so much for keeping it right here at Sunrise at Sea. You are watching CTV Uganda. My name is Priva Elibaz, and a quick reminder, make sure you do connect with us on our social media platforms, that is Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at CTV Uganda. If you ever miss an episode, of course, we do upload them daily on YouTube, so look out for CTV Uganda, subscribe and you will be getting the timely notifications. Well, right about now, it is time for our views, and of course the ladies do share their opinions and they basically do not leave any stone unturned. And today we are going to be looking at intuition vis-a-vis validation when it comes to us as human beings. In general, humans, of course, are very social creatures. We thrive in, being in communities and actually end up seeking validation from the people that we surround ourselves with. It's like the urge or that desire to be validated or, have someone be in agreement with what you believe or what you do. It's almost unavoidable. However, I'm going to actually give an example. I think all of us have ever at least fallen culprits to a point, or you're in a situation where you have an idea, you've thought about it, you know it's a good idea, but you pick up your phone and actually call your parents or your sister or your brother or your best friend and ask them the usual question. Is this a good idea? Do you think I should do this? I mean, you as yourself, it's a good idea, but somehow you want someone else to validate it. Another example is us being in an era of social media and, smartphones. There's a likelihood that you're going to take a picture that is nice, that is good. But before you actually post it on social media, you ask your friend, is this a nice picture? And actually go ahead to post it on social media and wait for those 400 likes to validate exactly what you feel about your picture. Now, I'm not saying social media is a culprit. However, I feel like it's a magnifying glass that, of course, exposes the underlying issues that have been present since time immemorial. So the question we're going to be asking today is, as much as, we value our friends' opinions and, how they shape our perspective on things, why are we much more motivated by that external validation as opposed to actually following your own intuition? Of course, joining me at the center of this conversation to help unpack and, chop it up and give us more insight are the beautiful ladies, Apple Lucera to my extreme right and Agi Uwase right here in the middle. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. I am.
You are? Okay,
Yeah.
fine. So, well, personally, I believe validation is like a slippery slope, but I would like to get, your take on what you feel about validation as opposed to people actually following their own intuition.
Well, first of all, intuition means to instinctively understand something without having to, cautiously reason it out. Whereas validation is just seeking out the validity of your decision or whatever it is that you want to do. You're basically trying to get someone to reinforce the accuracy of whatever it is that you want to do. Mm-hmm. Like, am I making the right decision?
Yes.
And there are a number of reasons as to why people would seek validation from other people. One, it could be a normal process of emotional character development. Am I making the right decision? So please advise, should I take this job or not? Should I dump my boyfriend or not? Please help me, Or do you think my character is good? Do I come off too aggressive? You're asking somebody else because you want to get their opinion, because it's a process of you trying to, develop your character or just be a better person. But then there are other reasons why people would do that, because they lack confidence and they want someone to reassure them that, yeah, you're making the right decision. It's actually a very blurred line between having confidence and just trying to be a better person. Lacking confidence and trying to be a better person. You could be insecure. Some people struggle with the, personality disorders or, mental illness, and they go on to, ask people, are you sure that I am seeing exactly what you're seeing?
Just to be sure.
Just to be sure.
Yeah.
Like when people have hallucinations or whatnot, like that is sometimes a reason why someone would seek validation. Like, can you see that person there, or am I just seeing it? Or did this actually happen, or am I, making it up? So there are different reasons as to why people seek validity as opposed to going with their intuition. Because again, also with intuition, it could be an honest, sincere, genuine feeling, and you're feeling something, you're feeling an energy. But then again, how do you tell the difference between your intuition and overthinking it?
And overthinking it.
Yes, because you may
absolutely.
say like, oh, I think she's an awful person, or she talked to me a certain type of way. On the other hand, the other person
Sees it
may
differently.
completely sees it different, like you're overthinking the situation. For instance, when we get blue ticked, why are they ignoring me? The other person could be, you know, going through something else, or could be attending to an emergency, or could be driving, or could have gotten distracted, and now you're here. I know he's cheating. Doesn't love me.
Do you think
anymore.
he's cheating?
You get it.
Yes.
So that is why we go on to ask other people.
Well, for me, validation in its entirety is not a bad thing, but overdoing it is when it gets to be a bad thing. I mean, as human beings, we crave love, we crave to be likable, we crave to be appreciated. And I mean, yes, it's very important. I mean, yes, like I said, as human beings, but also the far extent that you take it is when it becomes a bad thing. Now, I will say that people who usually seek external validation, on the negative side, usually lack self-confidence, self-worth, and also they may not trust themselves and their decisions. You might be the person that, you know, just like you mentioned earlier, you feel like, I want to pursue this career, but you don't trust that maybe you're good enough for it, or maybe it will work out as you want. And maybe in that moment, you just want someone, you know, to tell you, yes, you can actually do it. You're good enough for this. Maybe you might think you want to be a lawyer, and there are all these qualities or attributes about lawyers. You have to be shrewd, you have to be argumentative, you have to be all that. And maybe in a way you're a soft-spoken person, and you're like, do you feel in yourself that I may not do it? The other people may be more aggressive than I am because I'm a soft-spoken person. So in that event, you want to ask your mother, or maybe somebody you trust, it could be a friend, and you're like, do you actually think I can do it? Or maybe I might fail rather because I'm not as aggressive as other, you know, lawyers are. So that really is I mean, it's just trying to understand, or to get from the outside, to see if people view you the same way as you view yourself, or it's different. And it's okay to actually, you know, get the outside opinion, but the far extent that you take it is when it can be bad. Because I mean, if today you are trying, am I dressed well? You have bought a beautiful dress, you can see yourself in the mirror, I look good, but then you want the other person to compliment you, and that is when it will sink in. That is when you will believe it. I mean, how often are you going to do that? And it also, if you are that kind of person who wants that kind of external validation, if a time comes and maybe you feel you're looking good and somebody says, I don't think this really looks good on you, it will take a toll on you. Trust me, it will mess up your day. You will spend the whole day thinking, oh my God, I don't think I look good enough. Or you might actually miss out on good opportunities because people do not view you as you view yourself. Now, here is the trick. First of all, it's okay to get the outside validation, but be confident in yourself that even when people do not view you as you view yourself, or if people do not think the decision you're about to make is a good decision, you as an individual, are you able to take the final decision and base it on what you think and what you feel, besides what everyone else has said? So external validation is a good thing. We all seek it because we are people. We want to be likable, we want to be appealing, but you need to I don't know, cut down the degree at which you take in the external validation. Okay, I think from what from what the ladies just discussed, we can all agree that validation is somehow a part of, you know, our everyday lifestyle. But don't you think we are living other people's experiences when we are constantly asking people to, you know, validate how we feel, to tell us what we think? I mean, you could maybe decide to take a year off school. Maybe you've been studying for 5 years, and you're like, you know what, let me put a hold to this. I'll come back maybe after after this 1 year. And you choose to travel this 1 year that you decide to take off. But you know, there's Uwase. I know my friend Uwase actually took a year off. Let me reach out to Uwase. I reach out to Uwase and ask, hey, what was your experience? Do you think it is okay for me to actually take a year off? And maybe it was, let's say you had a bad experience, and you give me that same energy. Don't you think I'm letting someone else drive the boat of my life? Like I mentioned earlier, it's how you take it in. Because yes, you can ask me about the, you know, to give you an opinion of what I think about the decision you're about to make, but be in position to make the final decision on your own. Because at the end of the day, we view things differently, and we take situations differently. How I view something might be different from you. So if you are always going to take what people tell you, you will end up actually not being a happy person. Because first of all, you'll never live a fulfilled life. Because if you want to take time off school, let's say for whatever reason, maybe you're being mentally weighed down in one way or another. You feel it. But then you ask somebody and they tell you, what? No, this is very important. You cannot put it on hold. You need to go on. And they give you their reasons. So if you take on that, now what if you reach a situation where, you're weighed down mentally and you actually cannot, have good grades for that reason. And probably you have to have another year back in school because you had to listen to what someone else was saying. It's important that you listen, but after, bring the opinions on the table, including your opinion, and see what you can take as an individual. For me, it's all about how you take it in and how you react to it. That's what matters. Sarah, your experience on, us living people's experiences, because we are trying to get so much of validation from them.
I believe that people need to understand that there are consequences to your decisions. A lot of people will take other people's advice or take their own advice and then cannot deal with the consequences. I wish everybody would apply that before you make a decision, regardless what it is, whether it's what you wear, what you eat, where you want to go to school, whatever decision, whether you want to get divorced, whether you want to get married. Ask yourself, will I be able to, deal with the consequence that comes out of my decision? Because when we make choice, we are looking at the positive outcome or the positive in that choice. Even when it's a completely negative or bad idea, we are always looking out for the positive even in that bad idea. Say, for instance, I'm going to cheat. Yeah? I'm cheating because I am going to get my needs satisfied. You're looking at the positive in it. It's bad to cheat. It's wrong to cheat on your partner, or whatever the case may be, or cheat in your exams. You are looking at the positive in it. I cheat in my exams, I'm going to pass the exams. Yeah. The consequence to that is that, yes, you'll pass your exams, but are you going to ever be able to apply that education anywhere or that information anywhere? No. You cheat on your partner. In the event that they find out, you're going to lose a possibly really great relationship. So people need to think of the consequence. It's okay to ask for validity, whether you're validating yourself or whether you're asking somebody else. We are constantly being validated. Social media validates us. The information we post there. Beauty brands set the trend and the standards that we follow, and we choose to follow those things. We always look for the positive in those decisions. When we come to work, we are assessed. That is a validation from your boss that you're actually doing your job. You don't come here and say, yeah, I'm doing my job anyway. No, your boss is like, you're not meeting your targets or your KPIs, your key performing indicators. You're not meeting any of that. So we are constantly being validated. But at the end of the day, we have to be able to deal with the consequence. Intuition, it's a good thing to have, but many times we are not able to differentiate that between overthinking and our insecurities. I'm like, I don't think he likes me. You have that feeling, but there could be many factors affecting that feeling. Could be that you're insecure, could be that you are an attention seeker, could be there could be so many things applying to that, and not a lot of people have a high level of cautiousness to understand themselves.
Well, as you seek for opinions and validation from here and there, I'm going to walk you through how you can kick the validation game and actually thrive in life. The first one is self-actualization. We need to turn inward to our own basic needs and see if they're actually being met. Do we feel a healthy sense of belonging where we are in life? If not, what or who is standing in our way? Are we equally receiving or giving love? And most importantly, how are we nurturing love for ourselves? Then the other one is feeding your self-esteem. Feeding our self-esteem is a potent practice of fully stepping into our own power again. This may look like removing ourselves from certain social circles where we feel peer pressured, or minimizing our social media use. And the other bit is actually meditation. I don't know how many of you actually do meditate. But this is a sacred ground for developing our intuition and trusting what comes up. We've often heard that all of our life's questions are answered within, and meditation is the vehicle to those answers. Listening for that deep intuitive nudge is the only validation that is worth seeking, because it is our own. Now, just to ask you briefly, the bit of social media. Right now in Uganda, we have about 3.4 million active social media users. How has social media played into us seeking validation from the rest of the internet?
It actually has played a lot, especially with a lot the teenagers and you know, the younger youth or younger audiences, and not only just them, but it has affected everybody, because we keep on seeing people posting their lives and try to copy that and emulate that because it's cool. It's kind of like taking us back to that time in school when you wanted to be a part of the cool kids, because you see girls or ladies taking trips to Dubai. Now you're making it a mission to go to Dubai as well, because your life depends on it, because you want to post pictures so that people can be like, oh my gosh, she went to Dubai. So it does play a lot on people who have a low level of consciousness, people who don't understand themselves, people who don't think on their own, people who have not yet truly found themselves. Because if you have found yourself, you definitely use social media to share things that you like and not care whether somebody else is going to approve of it or not.
So you actually do believe that people who don't care what others think about them, they actually live happier lives, they're actually happier souls?
Absolutely.
Or it's just a facade?
It is not about not caring what other people think, because I think it would be a lie to say you're living your life not caring how other people think. That means you have no love in you. You don't respect other people. You don't respect people's boundaries. I mean, when I say don't care what people say, is that you are not allowing trends to dictate your life, to dictate your fashion sense, to dictate what you like to eat, or how you hold your hair, or how you carry, or you know, carry yourself. And when I say carry yourself in a way that is not detrimental to other people, that is not oppressive to other people. I'm happy and I'm going to post a picture of my coffee because coffee makes me happy, or because I like to take tea. I really like to take tea. And somebody else who appreciates taking tea is going to see my teacup and it's like, I love a good tea. What is in your tea today? You understand?
Absolutely.
So people need to start, again, understand the consequence of the decisions that you make. If you go out of your way and bend backwards to afford or try and make it look like it's to you know, afford a lifestyle, or plaster this lifestyle on social media that you cannot afford yourself, then you're going to live a lie, and then it gets draining.
Anxiety, depression, and all.
Anxiety, depression is now going to even push you into doing things that you are going to regret. You understand?
Yes. In regard to social media, I highly think that it has, you know, escalated this whole thing of looking for external validation. First of all, we literally have lost a sense of, like, you lose your sense of self because you want to be like somebody else, because you see and feel like someone else is living a better life. Maybe they are taking trips and you are not. And maybe you're in the same age bracket. This person is getting married, having a whole life going on for them, and you feel like I'm being left behind. It has also triggered people to reach the far extent of faking it. You find you actually living a life that is not truly, you know, that is not true.
Authentically.
And I'll just give you an example. There's, you know, a story that some individuals were talking about, and there were men. They're talking about ladies who go to a certain hotel in Kampala. You find they actually have no money to buy even a bottle of soda. All they are doing is getting there, get the right spots, take the pictures, immediately post on social media. Like, we have been pushed to that extent. Sarah did mention where you find yourself in a situation where you're doing very outrageous things for social media. I don't know. Well, let me talk about it. I don't know. That video was actually trending on Twitter. It was a Dubai potty something, very disgusting video. For everyone who watched it was very disgusting. But why are ladies doing that?
Going to that
it's because they are looking, you know, for all this luxurious life that they cannot afford themselves, but they want to show other people that they're living the life. So definitely social media has escalated this, and it still comes back to you controlling, you know, the intake, what you take in, because at the end of the day, what people usually post on social media is half the life that you know about them. What they post is what you see, with your eyes, but you barely know what goes on behind closed doors and in
But with social media, it also could be because now it's starting to become a lucrative avenue for people to earn, you know. So people find themselves, you know, doing things or pushing the limit to create content, as opposed to just being the content. There's market for everybody. You just showing your morning routine every day, you doing your errands, like you just being you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could garner millions of followers or people who enjoy that content. So a lot of people have not yet understood.
So to add on to what Sarah is just sharing, as you're out there as an individual, make sure you actually do practice self-worth. You know, it comes in the form of receiving the love and blessings that come our way. So we need to learn that we deserve all of that goodness in our life. The next time you receive something, take it all in. Truly, like, appreciate the kind words, appreciate the hugs, appreciate the compliments, and actually the recognition. Don't be too quick to dismiss it or return it to the sender. The more you can receive that, the easier it is to believe that you are worthy of all these things that actually come your way. And lastly, you have to welcome the perspective of others. Welcome the perspective of others, but do not depend on them to show you the way. Only you know what is best for you, and this comes through the practice of trusting your own way by following those gentle whispers of your intuition. It will never steer you in the wrong direction. So as much as you're seeking validation, please endeavor to listen to those inner voices inside your head. Maybe they're actually communicating something that no one else will actually be able to tell you.
Besides that, the other thing that I would want people to learn is that there are stages and phases in life, and each one of us has, you know, a time when they will get the job, when they'll get married. Do not go by the pressures of what is happening in other people's lives, and know that at the end of the day, stages are there. Today you might be here, tomorrow you'll be on the other end. But if you go by, you know, this one is doing this, so I need to do this, you'll make a lot of mistakes that you won't be able to leave.
Lastly, also, just want to put this out of the way. There are causes as to why we seek people's validation. Well, society,
Acceptance?
These are society norms, cultures, and values that have set the precedent on what gender roles should look like, or what women should do, or what men should do, or how should women dress, or how should men dress. That is why we go on, and we are now in a progressive society where women and men are slowly coming out of this box that we were placed in. And it goes on to ask, like, are you sure I should go on and do this? And there's nothing wrong with validity, but at the end of the day, understand the consequence.
The consequences that
when you
come with
ask
it.
for somebody's opinion, make sure you make a decision you are comfortable with.
Well, this conversation continues on our social media platforms, that is Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at CTV Uganda. This episode is also going to be up on our YouTube channel, that is CTV Uganda. Of course, do engage with us. Let us know what you think. You're still watching Sunrise at Sea. We'll be back in a bit.
Well, that's all we had for you on today's segment of Sunrise at Sea. I hope that you had a wonderful time with us. Well, tomorrow will be the Uganda Matters Day celebrations that will be taking place in the Uganda Matters Catholic Shrine Namugongo and the Uganda Matters Anglican site Namugongo. And we'll be bringing you all the updates and latest insights on what is happening right there on CTV. So stay tuned. Don't think that it only stops here, right here on Sunrise at Sea. Keep on watching CTV during the day all the way tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll also be covering the event live, so in case you're not able to go to Namugongo and attend prayers, you know, in person, you can actually watch them from the comfort of your home, because we'll be streaming live. We'll be coming to you live on GoTV, Star Times, and free-to-air decoders, and also on our website, and that's at www.ctv.co.ug. Well, until tomorrow, same time, same place, from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. from the ladies and I. Be blessed. Have a good day. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. We absolutely adore you and appreciate you for watching us every morning and waking up to us. From us and the ladies, follow SOPs, be kind, and remember to, you know, love yourself more. Practice more self-worth. All right? Bye-bye.